What's going on, everybody? I'm back and I'm ready to give my recap and analysis on what happened during championship weekend. Now, this took me a while to come up with what I wanted to say because the controversial ending for that Rams Saints NFC Championship game took me a while to digest and understand and look back, and I finally understand what I'm going to say. As for the Patriots and Chiefs, let's just get into it. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. First off, we got the Rams taking on the Saints inside the dome. Drew Brees and Sean Payton have never lost here in the postseason, so let's see how they did. Well, start off first quarter, first possession of the Saints. They moved the ball down the field, getting within the red zone, and on third down, Drew Brees passes the ball to his tight end, Dan Arnold. He fumbles it, and he could not hold on. Incomplete. The Saints have to settle for 3. On the first drive of the Rams, third down, Goff throws a quick check down to Gurley. Gurley's not able to possess the catch. It gets intercepted within there. Saints take over within their own red zone. They proceed to go 3 and out. Great job by the Rams defense, and they're forced to kick a field goal. That's 6 points in 2 possessions and 2 trips to the red zone. 2 trips, 6 points. Complete difference from the way they played when these two teams first matched up in the regular season. That was not a good start for the Saints. 2 possessions in the red zone, 6 points. That's for the Saints. That's it for the Rams. For the Saints, that was not a good possession. Not a good start for the Saints to get 6 points, 2 possessions in the red zone. That's bad. All throughout the first quarter, the Rams struggled to get anything effectively done, and that was due to communication issues. You gotta give credit to that dome. They were definitely loud. They had communication problems. They couldn't get set right. They couldn't hear the plays. It caused them timeouts. It caused them Goff and the team to be off. They had so much trouble dealing with the communication issues and dealing with that crowd there. It was tough in the first quarter, and that opened the window for the Saints to potentially take over. However, they weren't able to do much with that. Eventually, second quarter comes around, the Saints get a touchdown, it's 13-0, and the Rams know they got to get something on the board. Next possession, looks like it's a 3 and out, 4th down, and Sean McVay decides to come up with a play. Gutsy decision. You're in Sean Payton's house for an NFC Championship game. Sean Payton is known for one of the gutsiest decisions in the Super Bowl. He goes out and does something like that against the Colts. Beginning of the third quarter, onside kicks, one of the gutsiest plays that helped them win that Super Bowl. Sean McVay decides, I'm going to take a page from that and I'm going to make a gutsy play. I always talk about it. You want to be an all-time great team, you want to get to a Super Bowl, you have to be willing to make a gutsy call in crucial moments of the game. That was a crucial moment of the game. That saved that team, because punting that ball back to the Saints possibly would have made them go up 20-0, and this game was most likely over. However, they instead of going for it, they on a 4th down, fake punt, pass, gets the first down. From there, the offense is able to open up. They drive down the field and get a field goal. So now it's 13-3. The Saints proceed to do absolutely nothing with the football for the remainder of the quarter. Rams get it back late in the second quarter, and Goff, with the best throw of the day, puts the ball on the money to Cooks to get a 42-yard gain, put them up 1st and goal at the 5-yard line with under 2 to go. It's like under a minute to go in the game. Immediately they take advantage. Next play, they hand the ball off to Gurley. He takes it into the end zone, and all of a sudden, halftime, we're going in 13-10. Seeing that score, I immediately thought to myself, if I'm Sean Payton, I'm absolutely disappointed with what my offense has done. 13 points. First of all, you shouldn't have been up by 13. You should have been up by at least 20. 2 possessions in the red zone and you come up with 16. If not 20, you should have been up 21, you could have been up 17. But 13 points, you had 2 possessions in the red zone and you come up with 13 points. Sorry, you had 3 possessions in the red zone, you come up with 13 points. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. And for the Saints offense, the way they've been great at home this season, to come out and play like that in the red zone, that's not good enough. And to make matters worse, you go into halftime. After having a 13-0 lead, you go into halftime 13-10. You let the Rams score 10 unanswered points. That's not good enough. Don't blame whatever happened in this game. You had an opportunity to go up. The Rams were struggling early on, and you sat back and you let them get back in this game. I knew going into halftime, the Saints might be in trouble, because the way you had this lead and the way you blew it, that's not a good sign. Third quarter, both teams come back out, and they basically proceed to trade touchdowns for each other. makes it a 20-17 game for the most part. That was basically the third quarter. It was most of the time was taken out third quarter. Eventually, Saints get a touchdown. The Rams respond. They get their own touchdown. Makes it 20-17 game. We get into the fourth quarter, and here we go. Controversy. For the most part, both teams trying to move down the field. Can't get much, but late in the game, the Rams have an opportunity to take the lead. Under 5 minutes, they have an opportunity to take the lead, and a controversial play on third down. No one said anything about that then, but there was a clear face mask. There was a clear face mask on that third down that the refs just blatantly didn't call. That would have set them up at 1st and goal. Instead, the Rams have to settle for 3. Now we're tied 20-20. The Saints get the ball back. They're marching down the field under 2 minutes, and here comes a controversial play. We've got it right here. Just slow the clip.
3rd down and 10. Breeze from the gun. Takes the snap. Goes to the near side. Hit early. Where's the flag?
You don't get one.
Early hit on Tommy Lee. Sean Payton is all the way down at the 10. Unbelievable no call.
Wow. Not a flag to be found.
Unbelievable.
That's the second time.
How do you not throw the flag? I get it. For most of the parts, this game, there are so many plays that should have been called. Heck, back when I talked about the Cooks to the Goff to Cooks connection at the end of the first half, that was also a face mask right there. Cooks got his face mask touched. Nobody made the penalty there. But there were so many just missed calls in this game. But that one was so crucial. This is an NFC Championship game. How do you not know that? That dude basically trucks him. And even comes out at the end of the game, yeah, I basically did it. I did it. I did that to stop him because he was going to beat me. It was going to possibly be a touchdown. I had to go there. There were so many plays right there. Helmet to helmet, pass interference. How do you not do anything? The refs choose to hold their whistle on that play. It should have been pass interference, and that would have set them up 1st and goal to run out the clock, possibly kick either a field goal, get a touchdown, and possibly win this game. But instead, they have to get a field goal. They kick a field goal, and all of a sudden they're up by 3. The Rams proceed on that final drive. They proceed to absolutely decimate the Saints defense. Gets up the field quickly, puts themselves in field goal range, and absolutely ties the game. Now, as much as I want to sit here and look back at that controversial play, at the end of the day, you were still up 3 with an opportunity to make a stop. We understand. I really do understand. That would have ended the game, but it didn't. You can't make that excuse. Why didn't your defense stop the Rams for that final drive? Why did they let them get up to field goal range? That's the real question. You were up 3. It's not like that game, because they made that penalty, all of a sudden you couldn't take 7 and you had to go for 3. That helped you get the lead. Why couldn't your defense stand tall on that final drive and stop Goff and the crew from getting into field goal range? That penalty didn't cost you the game. Your defense did. Your team, the mistakes you guys made, the fact that you weren't able to capitalize on what you needed, that's what cost you to lose the game. So, you know the rest of the story. Goff ties the game up, 19 seconds left. Drew Brees takes a knee, and we're going into overtime. First possession of overtime, Drew Brees is moving down the field. Eventually, Fowler gets to him. If Fowler comes up the middle, puts the pressure on Drew Brees, ball's thrown up in the air, and it's intercepted. Which was also another penalty. Should have been pass interference there between him and Michael Thomas. But you know what? It's another missed call there. But whatever. Rams get the ball back. Goff moves them into field goal range. 57-yard field goal. It goes up and it's good. And the Rams go on to the Super Bowl while the Saints sit there and complain. It took me a while. I was watching that live and I was absolutely just pissed off. And I remember watching Ingraven when he got his recap and he was absolutely disgusted by how they didn't make that call. And I understand. I understand, Saints fans. I understand why you would be pissed off with that. But at the end of the day, that didn't decide the game. Why didn't your defense make a stop against the Rams on the final drive? The Rams had an opportunity. You were up 3 at that point with so little time left. Why couldn't your defense make a stop? Why couldn't they force a 4th down? Why couldn't they get a turnover? You cannot put that play. Yes, that play basically ends the game. It does. It basically ends the game. But missed calls happen all the time. And that didn't cost you the game. You still had an opportunity to make a stop and make sure they don't get into field goal range. But you don't. You let them get into field goal range to tie the game, and you still have an opportunity in overtime. Instead, what happens? Drew Brees throws an interception. You can't blame anyone but yourselves. You had an opportunity early on in the first quarter to take a huge lead, and you get 2 field goals out of 2 drives in the red zone. 13 points from the first half, and you go into halftime 13-10. You're only blaming yourself for that. And that's all. You can only blame the team right there. Offense didn't play well. Drew Brees clearly has just declined. Since the Cowboys game, he has not played well. I don't know what's going on. He has not played well. But he has been poor. He has really been poor. And at the end of the day, what can you do? The Rams move on to Super Bowl 53, where they'll be facing the Patriots. So let's get on about that game. So we had the New England Patriots go into Arrowhead and face off with the Kansas City Chiefs. Oh boy. I live streamed this whole game, and I was here with fans. A lot of people were there. By the way, shout out to anyone who's in the live stream and talking with me. It was fun. I had a blast doing it. Answered a lot of questions. We had fun, great reactions, but you all know what happened in that game. Oh my god. So, how about we get into it? Once again, first half, the Chiefs proceed to not show up again. Just like their first matchup against the Patriots, the Chiefs offense does not show up in the first half. They do not show up. They absolutely do not show up in the first half at home in an AFC Championship game. Brady's doing what Brady's doing enough to just help them win. They're not going up by a lot, but he's doing what he can to help them win. And the Chiefs do not show up in the first half. They do not show up in the first half. Quite disappointing, in fact. However, they come back in the third quarter. Immediately, the Chiefs put themselves in position. They score. They get a big play. They get in the end zone touchdown. They're fighting back. Brady's doing what Brady's doing. By the way, Brady had a very poor game for most part because he threw. Actually, you know what? I'm not gonna say he had a poor game. I'm gonna say he had an okay game. Pretty solid, pretty good. He played way better against the Chargers. Like this game, 2 interceptions were forced, and I can't even put it on him because they were tipped. But yeah, I would really say, honestly, what makes me mad about this game, because I don't even want to know if I want to go through this, because third quarter, you know what happens. The Chiefs start working towards making their comeback. The Patriots continue trying to add to their lead. Fourth quarter, the Chiefs put up 24 points. Patrick Mahomes leads a drive in the fourth quarter, 24 points. Good Lord. So talented. Where was this in the first half? My God. My God. Eventually, that leads to them taking the lead because midway through the fourth quarter, Brady throws his second pick. And that puts them in the position for the Chiefs to take the lead, which they do. I think it was a pass to Conley to get into the end zone for a touchdown. It was Conley, it was somebody, I'm tired right now. But yeah, it was Conley to get them to take the lead. Pretty solid. Patriots go back, marching down the field. They take a lead themselves late in this game. All of a sudden, the Chiefs, down by 3. Down by 3. But Patrick Mahomes, with like 39 seconds left, Patrick Mahomes leads them down. He absolutely cuts them apart. Patrick Mahomes leads them down the field, sets them up for a game-time field goal, and we send this game into overtime. Overtime, my God. And again, I can't really say much about this, but overtime, coin toss. I said whoever wins the coin toss is taking up the field and winning this game. Patriots won the coin toss, they tend to win the coin toss. And whenever they win the coin toss, it's game over for whoever the heck they're playing, because they're going down the field and they're scoring a touchdown. So that's what they do. They go down the field and they score a touchdown, and they basically end this game. Quite a poor analysis by my favorites, but this game, I don't really want to do an analysis on this. I just want to talk about the fact that the game could have been over. You had him picked for his third pick, but a certain somebody lined up offsides. Are you serious? You line up offsides. They get the interception to end this game and got their trip booked into Super Bowl 53 to take on the Rams. And all of a sudden, the flag comes on the field, offside. I'm like, here we go. Here we go. Also, penalty on third down. Roughing the passer? Dude swipes at Brady's shoulders, and you call a roughing the passer. What? The refs, man, the refs were absolutely horrible this weekend. So many missed calls, so many stupid calls. I mean, the refs, they just seem to get worse each season, and they're just doing a poor job. I feel bad for them, but at the same time, you're doing a poor job. It's like you don't even care, which they probably don't. But yeah, refs did a horrible job with that. Don't even know about that ref in the past. I don't know how that goes, but the main one was, game was over with that interception. So somebody decided to line up offsides. I don't know how you don't notice your offsides, but lines up offsides, negates that, and my God, this defense was atrocious in the fourth quarter. It was atrocious in the fourth. It was atrocious for most of this game. I do not understand for the life of me why nobody seems to understand that you cannot play zone defense against Tom Brady. This is not rocket science, people. If you let Brady sit back in the pocket, he's going to dissect your defense. I don't care how elite you are, I don't care how great you are. If you cannot put pressure and sack Brady, you're not beating this team. And he clearly showed it. Fourth quarter, all they continued to do, they put 0 to no pressure on him. And yes, I said 0 to no pressure, because that's how bad their defense was. They didn't touch this man the entire game. And in the fourth quarter, Brady sat back. Third down after third down after third down, converted in the fourth quarter. I'm sitting there like, at some point, can you just make a stop? That's what they were running the same. Oh my God. They couldn't make a stop. We get into overtime. And into overtime. On 4 occasions, 3 or 4 occasions, they had these dudes at 3rd and long. And I swear the Patriots ran the same play 3 straight times, and they got a first down. What the heck? Andy Reid, what is your defensive coordinator doing? I cannot believe the level. Just the level of defense. This team was just atrocity. Oh my God. The lack of everything, man. The offense not showing up in the first half. The defense not being disciplined enough to know where they are. No adjustments, barely any adjustments being made. The fact that there was no pressure on Brady, he did whatever he wanted to. It was an absolute mess in the fourth quarter. It was an absolute mess. And in overtime, it was just, oh my God. This is me being on emotion. I really wanted to give a proper analysis of this, but I've already said everything I wanted to say was in the live stream. But like, I'm just sitting back 2 days, 2-3 days after that game, and I cannot believe the ineptitude, the level of ineptitude I saw from that defense in overtime. You couldn't have asked for an easier way for Brady to get back to his 9th Super Bowl. I swear, they ran the same play 3 straight times on 3rd down because they knew that this defense was trash and they can run the same. I swear, they ran the same thing. 3rd down 12. I couldn't believe. Zone defense, guys. Stop playing it. And did you even, they played 2 plays. 2 different coverages. Cover 1 and a cover 5. They ran 2 defensive schemes. 2 defensive schemes for a cover 1 and a cover 5. It was, even when they played cover 2, what they didn't really do that much. They did that more in the first half. But even when they played cover 2, that didn't work on Brady, obviously. They just kept playing zone defense. They didn't get any pressure on this dude. And I'm just sitting here, I'm like, why isn't anybody blitzing? Why isn't anyone blitzing? Why isn't anyone blitzing? I thought this team had a great defensive line. How can nobody get to the quarterback? But alas, that final drive in overtime, well, not final, they only drive in overtime. Patrick Mahomes just sitting on the sideline, can't do anything. And again, like I said, as much as I would like to be like, oh, you know what, the way they should change the overtime rules, give both teams a shot to do it, like college. I don't believe in that. The way I see it is that I also don't believe in a coin flip, because if your season's on the line and the trip to a Super Bowl depends on who gets the ball first, so you have to decide on a coin flip. All that work to get here and your season lies on a freaking coin? No. The way I see it is, I feel that for overtime rules, the opponents, the away team, deserves to get the ball first. That's just how it works, because the home team, you're at home. You have home field advantage. If you cannot win this game in regulation at home, at the end of the day, whatever happens in overtime happens in overtime. So the way it is, I just didn't like the way it worked. But at the end of the day, the coin toss happened. The Patriots got the ball. The defense went on to put on one of the worst performances I've ever seen by a defense in a championship game. Like, they didn't even try. Third down every time. Brady cooked them with pretty much the same play every single time. It was absolutely atrocious. Basically put themselves into, not even, put themselves in near the red zone, and they basically ran it in, and they killed him. By the way, Sony Michel for this game was pretty good. You know, he was pretty solid. He was getting a lot of yards. They were doing well in the run game, so Brady didn't have to really do much. Brady only threw one touchdown, but like I said, the run game was so effective, and it was just cutting this team up. They couldn't stop. Their run defense was not showing up. Their pass rush was not showing up. The secondary was just getting cooked. They couldn't do anything. The Chiefs' defense was absolutely horrible. And this has made me come to believe that Andy Reid will go down as one of those coaches who are just not going to win a Super Bowl. He's got a lot of people who've worked under him that have gone on to win a Super Bowl. Heck, my coach included, John Harbaugh. He's worked under Andy Reid back when they were both in Philadelphia. And he went on to become a head coach himself and win a Super Bowl with my Ravens. Andy Reid just seems to be the type of teacher who can help his students go on to have success, but him himself can't win the big one. And I don't know if he ever will be able to win the big one. Now, of course, Chiefs fans will look at me like, of course, we have Patrick Mahomes. We'll be back next year. I just don't know. I feel like even if you guys get to a Super Bowl, it's going to be the whole Eagles scenario all over again. Because remember, this dude had Donovan McNabb, went to 3 straight NFC Championship games, got to a Super Bowl, and won nothing. The same could happen for Patrick Mahomes. And if that is the case, then Chiefs fans are really going to hate Andy Reid. If you think Eagles fans really hate if you really think Eagles fans hate what Andy Reid did, oh, trust me, Chiefs fans may hate that too. Because the dude can get you to the postseason, but it doesn't mean anything if you can't win the big one. And I'm telling you, if they waste Mahomes' talents, good Lord, Kansas City's going to go crazy. But yeah, that's basically my analysis for this. This was a horrible analysis. I said pretty much all I wanted to say in the live streams. I just wanted to come out and give my reaction to it again because it's good to get a quick recap. I talked about the game. I gave my emotion. I was all over the place. But I guess that's partly because I'm working on this whole thing. Since it's Super Bowl week, I'm trying to get out a bunch of videos. I have a video coming out soon about the storyline for Super Bowl 53 and what that actually means for teams. I'm going to make a preview, kind of like a hype video or a preview video for Super Bowl 53. I want to talk about the road to the Super Bowl for both the Rams, I was about to say Chiefs, for both the Rams and the Patriots. I got a couple videos I got to work on, so this was just a quote-unquote quick video. Not really, because I think this is like 25 minutes long. Isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be like 25. It's going to be 20-25 minutes long, because I talked for a lot. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. I know you didn't get to the end. If you got to the end, you're an OG. Thanks for watching, and peace out. Boop.